Hi everyone, I wanted to demo my Simon midterm project for ELEC 327, which is a digital systems class at Rice, and show how the game works and what some of the features are that I added. So to start the game, I'll just flip this switch here. And as you can see, this is the start animation. It just cycles through the LEDs and the tones. So to start, I'll just hold a button down. As you can see, pretty obvious. You just follow the LEDs and hit the buttons. It's random every time. And once you hit 6, you'll win the game. And because this was the first time I played, it was a high score, which means it was the fastest time that I completed the game. The high score animation makes that cool kind of old arcade style sound, and it randomly lights up the LEDs each time the sound starts again. If you win and it's not a high score, then it'll just do a normal win animation. But as you can see, the LEDs light up randomly and it does that sound. And this was only because I had a high score this time. The game, each time you turn it on, will track your high scores, and if you beat it, it'll do this animation. So I just hit a button, and I'll go back to the start, and I can start a new game. If you hit a wrong button, as you'd expect, the game will go to this lose animation, and you'll lose the game. You just hit another button to go back to the start. Another way to lose is if you time out, which just means you took too long to hit a button. Now the game, I can hold this button down as long as I want, and it won't start the timeout timer. But once I release it, it'll time out. So the LEDs will stay lit as long as you hold down the button. Once you release it, the timeout timer starts, and if you take too long, then you'll lose the game. I also added difficulty selection. If you hit these 3 LEDs down here, then you'll play at normal difficulty. If you hit this red one up here, then it'll do double speed. And double speed means that the LEDs play twice as fast here, and the timeout is also twice as fast. So once I release this, it times out twice as fast as it did when I did a normal difficulty selection. Another feature is the reset option. What I can do is, while it's waiting for me to press, if I just hit all 4 buttons like that, then it'll reset and go back to the start state, which is nice if you want to start a new game and change difficulty or change game mode, which I'll show you in a second. The reset also works while it's playing tones, so just hold it down and I can go back to the start state again. And you have to hit all 4 buttons at the same time. Last thing I wanted to show was the double press mode. If you hit 2 buttons at a time during the start state, then it'll light up 2 LEDs at a time, and you have to hit both those buttons and only those 2 buttons. If one of the LEDs that you hit is the red LED, then it'll do double speed. So if you want to do normal speed double press, then you hit any of those 2. If you want to do double speed double press, then you'd hit any of those options, with one of them being the red LED. So I'll hold down 2 buttons, and as you can see, it lights up 2, and you have to hit 2 at a time. If you hit one of them, it doesn't work. So it was red green. If I just hit red, it doesn't work, as it shouldn't. The other thing I can do is, if I hit 3 of them, also doesn't work, as you would expect. The last thing I did was, in the spirit of double presses, you really should hit the 2 buttons as close in time as possible. Obviously, it's impossible to hit them exactly at the same time. So my restriction is that the user there has to be a time when both buttons are pressed down. What I do is, you can hit them slightly off center, so I'll show you that. So if I do it accepts that press. What I do is, if you take more than half a second from when you hit the first button to hit the second, like I did there, then you'll lose the game. So you don't have to hit them exactly at the same time, but as close as possible. And there has to be a time when both are pressed. You can't like do that. That won't be accepted. And then, as I said, you can also do double speed, double press, which is hard. And you get the idea. I timed out there because it was double speed. But there you go. That's how Simon works, and thanks for watching.